Stay tuned for your weekly news review on STVS.
Good evening and welcome to the news review in English. I'm your presenter, Susan Mena. After 24 years, the Union of Firefighters, Brandweerbond, have elected a new chairman and a new board. With an overall majority of 145 against 27 votes, Clifton Palracan was chosen chairman of the Union of Firefighters. His opponent was Romeo Bor. Members of the union were allowed to vote on Thursday, December 5th, to choose a new board. The past 24 years, John Seydorf has led the union. Earlier this year, he was deposed by the disgruntled members. The Ulster Union chairman stated that he is still the rightful leader. The transfer of the board will take place through a bill. The transfer of the board will take place through a bailiff. Stefan Casancario, president of the interim board of the union, says that if the former board opposes the outcome, the new elected board will not hesitate to take the matter to court. The main message on Thursday, December 5th, on the celebration of Children's Day was love. Give your child plenty of love and attention because they deserve it. That was the message from Jennifer Simmons, Speaker of the National Assembly. Mrs. Simmons visited 3 schools in the Tamenja neighborhood where she spoke to the school children. Simmons also discussed the announcement of the Minister of Education, Ashwin Adin, which indicated that Suriname should give its own spin to Children's Day. Just as Mother's Day and Father's Day is celebrated, children should also be pampered, said Elise Landus, chairman of the subdivision of NDP Tamenja. A citizen also decided to offer candy to unprivileged children on this day. He surprised the children of the children's homes Claudia A. and Stichting voor het Kind. Children's Day was established in 1975 by the Aaron administration, echoing Mother's Day and Father's Day, and to replace the for some racist Sinterklaas Fest. Correctional officials need to better communicate with detainees. This was one of the main topics of the course Intervention Technique with Handcuffs, which was conducted by French experts. The training for the prison officers of PAs was successfully closed on Thursday, December 5th. 20 PAs from different departments have attended the course. After the training, they all received a certificate. It is the first time that correctional officers received such a training. They are therefore pleased that they got the opportunity to learn the techniques. According to the acting director of Delinquentes Care, Paul Pinas, it's good that correctional officers are trained in how to deal with aggressive prisoners. Because PAs did not know how to deal with the aggressive prisoners, tensions occur in the past. The training lasted 4 days. On Friday, December 6, Minister Jim Hawk of Natural Resources signs an agreement with the UNDP, which will start with the planting of Arundo donax, a type of grass, in mid-2014. From this plant, biofuel can be produced. For the UNDP, the document was signed by Richard Blue-Witt, representative of the UNDP. Mr. Hawk indicates that a study has been made to plant in Arundo donax in the mined areas of Suralco. Suralco has made $50,000 available to carry out the project, while the government comes in with $250,000. According to Minister Hawk, it's not certain yet whether actual biofuel can be produced from the plant. The results will be announced after the trial period. The government will start in 2014 with the establishment of its industrial park. This explained Minister Raymond Sapun of Trade and Industry to the STVS. With the various ministries and the cabinet of the President, a feasibility study was done 2 years ago. There is also a master plan ready, which must be implemented, says Mr. Sapun. This industrial park will ensure the companies can no longer be set up in residential areas where they are a burden to citizens. If the Consumer Protection Act is finished this month, it will be presented to the Minister of Trade and Industry, H.I. Raymond Sapun. So hopes Daniela Sumter, Head Consumer Affairs Department of this ministry. An endeavor that is successful is that Suriname has become member of even more international organizations, says Sumter. The ministry also managed to make consumers aware of, among other things, the changing of their purchasing habits. On Monday, the annual Christmas package registration of the Salvation Army took place. Monday morning, the less fortunate could register between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Coordinator Lucia Pos had hoped it would go orderly, but it turned out differently. According to her, people were afraid that they would not be eligible for a package, but that has never been the case. From November, the Christmas pots of the Salvation Army were placed at different spots in the country. More than 1,300 people received a Christmas gift. With the Christmas pots action, other activities are also organized during Christmas. The oldest historian of Suriname, André Loor, died last Tuesday. He felt unwell and was hospitalized. He struggled with his health for some years. He recently released the book, André Loor Vertelt. The book was published twice, and he also signed his last edition. The first copy was presented to the Minister of Internal Affairs, Suharto Mustaja. Mr. Loor was a school principal and graduated in history from the Vrije Universiteit in the Netherlands. Not so long ago, Loor told the STVS News that many persons who studied to be an historian are unable to continue with it. Some stop at obtaining the MOA or MOB History Certificate at the Institute for the Training of Teachers, IOL. Mr. Loor said that a historian never stops learning. The number of trained historians until 2007 was only 5. Suriname now has 10 historians. In 2012, a bronze statue of André Loor was revealed, which stands at the National Archives of Suriname. It was one of the expressions of appreciation throughout his life. Young people should be involved at an early stage in the process of democratization. The reason for this is that they have to be able to discuss in conjunction with the government on youth policies. On Tuesday, Minister Ismanto Atna of Sport and Youth Affairs visited the polling station at the APJ Mayor Lyceum, where he said that he would like to see young people get the place which they deserve. He expects that the candidates are primarily elected. Nationwide, approximately 122,000 young people went to the polls to choose their favorite candidate. Siuren Haman was a candidate in Paramaribo, and he is committed to better education. Minister Atna further reports that the focus was on good turnout of the electors. He is therefore happy with the way in which the preparations were conducted. The organizing of the Youth Parliament election cost the government 3.3 million Surinamese dollars. The Surinamese government is planning to solve the land rights issues in Suriname in phases. This became apparent during the first Krutu, or meeting of the Presidential Office for land rights in Claas Creek in the district of Brokopondo. Martin Misijan, Commissioner of the President regarding land rights and Director of the Officer for Land Rights, held a crutu with the Traditional Authority of Brokopondo to discuss the plans of the government. In the short term, a legal framework for Traditional Authority must be created and a protocol for ongoing consultations now and in the future. This is to be the first phase of the solution of the Surinamese land rights. A reasonable proportion of the Traditional Authority of the district of Brokopondo was present at this crutu, and the MPs, Puki and Finisi, were also present. The crutu of the Land Rights Office with the Traditional Authorities will be held across the country. The next crutu of the Land Rights Office is planned for the Upper Suriname region in the district of Sipaliwini, which will also be attended by Gramang Belfon Aboy Koni. It was an historic moment for our head of state to represent Suriname at the funeral of Nelson Mandela. According to him, he and his delegation had participated not as high guests, but they have represented the Surinamese people. Mandela is for President Bouterse a world symbol of the struggle. In Suriname, there were also struggles from the time of slavery. The President is aware that many Surinamese do not know what it's all about. But there are others who were already working on it, and President Bouterse refers to the national anthem. After the memorial service of Nelson Mandela, President Bouterse visited the Surinamese embassy in Johannesburg. The head of state returned Wednesday to Suriname. That concludes our news review in English. For more information, you can visit us at www.stvs.sr. I'm Susan Maynard.